Hello students, welcome again in the video lecture presentation series on plant ecology. I am Dr. Deepak Koche, Professor, Department of Botany, Sri Shivaji College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Akola, Maharashtra. Welcoming you all in the 10th lecture of this series, and the title is Adaptations in Xerophytes. Xerophytes? Yes, xerophytes are the plants which are growing in xeric condition or adapted into the xeric environment. Now these xerophytes, these are the plants growing in xeric conditions or the xeric environment or the desert conditions. Now how you can identify the xeric conditions or xeric habitats or desert conditions? So mostly the xeric conditions are characterized by the high temperature of the atmosphere and soil, the first one. The next is deficiency of water and mineral in the soil. Okay, presence of water in the deep ground level. Okay, then high intensity of light. The soil may be sandy or with least water holding capacity. So if a particular area or particular region is having these particular characters like high temperature of atmosphere and soil, then soil may be sandy or having very less water holding capacity, deficient in water and minerals. So if these are the conditions, then definitely it is the xeric habitat, okay, or desert condition. So the plants growing in such condition, it is called as the xerophyte. Okay. Now these particular xeric conditions or xeric habitat may be physically dry or physiologically dry habitat, or it may be physically and physiologically dry habitat. So what exactly is the physically dry habitat? Now when the water retaining capacity of soil is very less, then such condition it is called as the physically dry habitat. But if water is available in ample amount but it is not been utilized properly by the plants, then such condition it is called as the physiologically dry habitat. For example, waterlogging condition. Now in some areas you may found the soil is maybe physically or physiologically dry, mostly in the mountain slopes. Okay, in both physical conditions and physiological conditions they are prevailing in that particular area, therefore it is called as the physically as well as physiologically dry habitat. Now here I had shown certain examples of the xeric plants or xerophytes. Ziziphus, it is non-succulent xerophyte. Aloe and Opuntia, that is succulent xerophytes, which are commonly found in xeric condition, but not now it has been introduced in the mesophytic conditions also. Now we will see types of xerophytes. So mostly there are three different types of xerophytes: drought escaping plants or xerophytes, or drought enduring xerophytes, these are also called as the succulents, and drought resisting xerophytes, that is non-succulent perennial plants, but xerophytes. Okay, now starting with the first one, drought escaping plants. Now they are the drought evaders. They are mostly found in arid zones. They are mostly annuals which complete their life cycle within 6 to 8 weeks, during which the period is suitable. Okay, for example, Solanum xanthocarpum, Arzimum and Cassia tora. Now the next one is the drought enduring xerophytes. They are the succulent plants. These plants suffer from dryness in their external environment only. The succulents are fleshy organ, that is stem, leaves or roots, they accumulate large amount of water during the brief rainy season. For example, aloe is there, euphorbia is there, opuntia is there. Asparagus is one of the example of drought enduring xerophytes. The next one, drought resisting xerophytes or non-succulent xerophytes. They are also called as the true xerophytes. They possess a number of morphological and anatomical features which are adapted to the drought conditions, which enables them to withstand critical dry conditions. Thus, they suffer from the dryness both in their internal as well as the external environment. For example, Calotropis, you might have seen, Acacia is there, Babul, Ziziphus, Bear, Casuarina and Nerium. For surviving in the extreme dry conditions or the xeric conditions, the plant shows certain morphological, anatomical as well as physiological adaptation that we will see one by one. Now here is the picture of some of the plants, xerophytes, which shows the morphological adaptations. Okay, here is opuntia, echinocactus, euphorbia is there, nerium is there, pinus is there, casuarina, equisetum you had seen, calotropis is one of the common example, and ephedra. Okay, these shows morphological adaptations and it is visible on the slide. Okay, the root system is very well developed and deeply rooted in case of the xerophytes. Okay, roots with numerous root hairs and root caps are found in Calotropis. The roots are fasciculated in the asparagus. Stems are stunted, woody, dry, hard, sometimes rigid and covered with thick bark and may be underground in case of the saccharum. Stem is covered with thick coating of wax and silica as in equisetum or dense hairs as in Calotropis. Stems may be modified into thorns as in case of the Ilex, cladodes as in case of the asparagus, phylloclades as in case of the opuntia. Leaves are very much reduced. If you see the general appearance of the leaves in most of the xerophytes, it is small, scale-like, appearing only for the brief period. That is the what is called as the caducus, sometimes modified into spines or scales as in case of the casuarina, ruscus and asparagus. Lamina may be narrow or needle-like as in case of the pinus, or divided into many leaflets as in case of the acacia, or succulent as in case of the aloe. Okay. In euphorbia and Ziziphus zuzubus, stipules becomes modified into spines. That is one of the unique example. Xerophytes like Calotropis have hairy covering on the leaves and stem to check the transpiration. So most of the nearly 99% of the modifications shown by these xerophytic plants, it is to reduce the water loss from the plant and to collect maximum amount of water, to reduce the water loss from the plant and to collect or retain the maximum amount of water for their survival. Now here we will see certain anatomical features or anatomical adaptation shown by the xerophytes. Now root system that we had already told you, it is the well developed, and root hairs and root caps are well developed in opuntia. Roots may be fleshy to store water as in asparagus. In succulent xerophytes, stems possess water storage region. Thin walled parenchymatous cells are found in succulent xerophytes. Then stems of non-succulent xerophytes, they are very thick, hard, having thick cuticle and well developed epidermis with thickened cell wall. Several layers of sclerenchymatous and hypodermis, sclerenchymatous hypodermis can be seen as in case of the casuarina. The stems have sunken stomata as well developed vascular bundle, and mechanical tissues are also well developed in case of the stems in non-succulent xerophytes. Leaves show well developed cuticle in general. Succulent leaves are found as in case of the aloe. Multilayered epidermis is found in case of the nerium. Sclerenchymatous and several layered hypodermis is found in case of the pinus. Bulliform cell, they are found in sugarcane. Mesophils is well differentiated and vascular bundles and mechanical tissues are well developed. So these things are very common. Now if you see one by one, they are all adaptations related to check the water loss and store the water in the plant. Now physiological adaptations. The stomata of these plants open during night and remain closed during the daytime, that is CAM, crassulacean acid metabolism, has been shown by these particular plants. This unusual feature is associated with metabolic activities of these plants. In xerophytes, the chemical compounds of cell sap are converted into wall forming compounds, for example cellulose and suberin. Some enzymes such as catalase, peroxidase are more active in xerophytes than in mesophytes. Why? That we will see. The capacity of xerophytes to survive in long period of drought is due to the resistance of hardened protoplasm to heat and desiccation. The protoplast is resistant to the heat, that's why they can survive. Okay, rate of photosynthesis is high but slow down at very high temperature, but starch sugar ratio is less. Okay, again all xerophytes try to maintain less rate of transpiration. This is the most important criteria to survive in desert condition. Hope you understand the adaptations shown by xerophytic plants and what different types of adaptations are shown by different plants. Nowadays few of the xerophytic plants, they had been introduced in mesophytic conditions also, and they are well acclimated, but they shows the original adaptation of xerophytic conditions. Hope you understood this lecture. If you have any queries, then you can comment me. We will definitely solve it. Again, we will meet soon with the next lecture with new topic. Thank you very much.